What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another fun-filled video from your one and only Trabonnemeyer 98 here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Right now, I am making this video basically to explain why I think 2021 was by far one of the best years of my life. And if I do get emotional during the video making process, I do apologize. I do greatly apologize. Mainly because this year for me has been filled with not only ups and downs, but also it's just been filled with such good memories that I just do not know where to begin. And it all started about 7 months ago. 7 months ago, I was living in Mansfield, Ohio with my ex-girlfriend of well over a year. And the reason why I left her is because towards the end of our relationship, we just simply did not get along too well. She was on disability income and so on and so forth, and she realized that I had a car addiction, and I've always had a car addiction. I am 23 years old, and this Toyota Corolla here is the 18th car to my name, and I want to keep it for a while, but I'll come back to that later. So, around Christmas time last year, I managed to find a 1991 Eagle Premier ES Limited on Facebook Marketplace, and I was immediately interested because not only was the same year, make, model as my very first car, but it was also the same color and also had the same interior, so it immediately caught my attention. Plus, being in Ohio and being the rare cars those were, I was immediately interested, and I was going to do anything I could to own that car. And besides, if I bought the car, it would be bought with my savings. So that being said, though, at the time I was making payments to her brother's 2018 Toyota Camry at the time, using it as a daily driver, and I was working my ass off. I was working sometimes 15 to 16 hours a day, via one or two jobs or just one job all day long, just to make a sustainable income. Plus, I was running a business at the time as well, so I was making pretty darn good money. I was making around $4 grand a month, and that is money I'm used to seeing. But after I bought the Eagle, Taryn definitely was not happy because she thought she would not feel safe in it. And indeed, it didn't have all the safety equipment or anything like that, but still didn't give her a right to threaten to break up with me over a car. She knew I had a car addiction, and she knew that when we got together. She knew that from the very beginning, so it's not like it was no surprise to her. Coming back to that, though, I ended up buying the Eagle with my savings. The car was advertised for $1,500. I ended up buying it for $1,100 because it needed a new battery, as well as a lot of other things. I probably put at least $2,000, $3,000 worth of work into that thing, and it still needed a lot more work from there. But that being said, though, when I bought that Eagle, I was not planning on using the Eagle as a daily driver because, one, spare parts are very hard to come by, two, it's a rare car, and three, it was old enough to be considered a classic. I did not want it to be suspected to Ohio's winters, so I literally babied the thing like it was my child. I mean, I wanted that thing to last forever, despite the Eagle Premier having a reputation of being a complete joke of a car. So I wanted to relive the memories of having my first car. I wanted to embrace having my first car all over again. But her brother took back the Toyota Camry I was making payments on, so I had no choice but to use the Eagle Premier as a daily driver, which is something I didn't want to do because, again, I was working two jobs, I was doing DoorDash with it, and above all else, I was just beating the living shit out of it, and that's something I feel so ashamed of myself for doing. So eventually, things grew annoying because not only was I paying for every bill in the house I was living with my ex, I also had to pay for all the car's needs on top of it, so I signed myself up for a contract. And here's Taryn working absolutely not at all, and she's getting disability income, and she's getting more per month than I paid for that Eagle in the first place. And her mother's just taking it all, expecting me to pay for everything. And that's not how it goes with me. So I told her I'd like you to pay at least half the rent just to help me buy it, just so I can make some spare money aside so I can put it towards the Eagle every day. And she just wouldn't. So over time, I just grew sick of it and eventually left her in May. After I left her in May, the Eagle became YouTube famous, by my buddy Josh at the YouTube channel, Neighborhood Car Reviews. He came out from Indianapolis. We met in Toledo, Ohio at the Toledo Zoo. He reviewed the car and went from there. I'll put the link to that review down in the description. He did a fascinating job, so Josh, if you're still watching this, thank you for that memory too. After the review was over, we drove it back from Toledo. It took about 3 hours, and the car developed some problems, to the point I couldn't get it fixed. So that's when I took out the loan for the Chrysler 200, because I just needed a car to get me back and forth to work, and the Eagle was just definitely not holding on as well as I thought it would. I had to skip a car show for Father's Day because of it, and so needless to say, I needed a more reliable car sooner rather than later. So took the loan out for the Chrysler 200. I sold the Eagle with high regrets, but the car's up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin now, getting restored. What was I also going to say here? But then the Chrysler developed issues after the road trip, which I give my massive thank you to everybody who helped make that road trip possible. None of my family, but just everybody who did their part. People at the International Spy Museum in DC, the CDC. I give hats off to the people who sold me the Chrysler, even though they sold me a piece of junk. Because if it wasn't for that car, I would not be here talking about this. But we made it to DC and back in that Chrysler, and we made it there with a smile on my face. And I thank everybody at the International Spy Museum who showed up not only in a car, but also to help support the event of the Parade of Trabants at the International Spy Museum itself. I also give thanks to the Washington, D.C., I don't know what it's called, but just like the rules and regulations of Washington, D.C., because I remember when all the museums were still closed because of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. But now the museums are open again, and hopefully they can stay open through this new variant that's been found with the COVID-19, and I hope this COVID-19 thing ends fairly soon rather than later. I've lost 2 friends because of it, and it hasn't been easy on me, but I'm getting through the loss. That's no doubt about that. But I will be honest with you, this COVID-19 thing has been taking its toll on me, and I will not doubt everybody else, especially those who actually believe in it. I know some people who actually don't, and it worries me sickeningly because I know one of the 2 boys I took to DC is not fully vaccinated, and that worries me hugely, especially knowing that I might have to get my booster shot with all the issues I have. I have autism, I have ADHD, I got cerebral palsy in both my arms and legs. So yeah, I definitely have to make sure I get that booster shot ASAP. In fact, I'm heading to a Giant Eagle now to see if I can get it scheduled or see what my options are. So anyhow, that being said, though, 2021 is coming to a closure, and I hope 2022 will continue to be a great year. Jordan, Nyan, and I are all coming together, and we are just like brothers. It is just amazing how we've known each other for such a short time, 90 days at most, and yet we feel like we've known each other for pretty much our entire lives. And with him, with Nyan's mom, when going to school with my aunt, I have pictures of my aunt and uncle back from the late 80s and early 90s that my aunt, Nyan's mom kept all these years. It just brings back such a memory to my face. And I got a picture of my uncle from the year he graduated in 1990, and I see on the back of it some handwriting he sent to Nyan's mom, and I could read it and put a smile on my face because I can hear his voice as I read it. It is such a wonderful thing. I wish I could show you guys the pictures, but I can't. But maybe I'll show them in another video. But that's not, if you guys want to see that, fine. But that being said, though, I'm getting a little off topic here. Not only was 2021 a great year, I hope 2022 will be an equally great year. Because not only do I have this 2017 Toyota Corolla here, which is by far the most solid and long-lasting feeling car I had ever owned. But at the same time, I am just so grateful for it. I want to take this thing on many great adventures. Eventually, this car's going to be covered to the back with bumper stickers. I just already got one on the back from the DC road trip that I took off my Chrysler. It's also got the license plate frame that Jordan and I both made to say that we're the Misfit Motorheads. If you want to hear more about the Misfit Motorheads, I will invite Jordan and I to join us in a video of us being a trio and why we decided to come up with the name. But either way, we'll gloss over that in a little bit. But like I said, I give my massive thank you to everybody who helped make 2021 simply a great year, and it's been one of the best years of my life. That being said, however, like I said, I hope 2022 will be a great year. We are starting to plan a road trip, but it's all talk and no show at this point. Our plan is to go from here in Ohio, well, like Fairlawn, Akron, Greentown, Canton, whatever we are, that part of Ohio. From here to Massachusetts to go pick up Jordan's girlfriend, take her down to Washington, D.C. for the annual Parade of Trabants so he can propose to her, and then drive her back from Washington, D.C. back to Ohio because he wants to move in with her because she'll be 18 at the time. So, but yeah, that's just all talk and no show right now. But either way, I really, really hope things work out because I've actually never been to Massachusetts, so that'd be fun for me. If that's the case, I'd like to stay the night in Boston because, again, I've never been to Massachusetts and actually have friends out there. So either way, it will be great, great, great fun. But yeah, if you guys want to see more adventures for us, feel free to subscribe to my channel. My Facebook links are down in the description. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And until my next video, guys, I'll catch you guys later.